right? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Porch family. It's another day on the home front and I'm Pavio G. Let's get straight to it. Food prices are spiraling out of control. We're paying more at the store and the grocery clerks scanning faster than our budgets can keep up. The government won't flash a warning when it's too late. This isn't dramatic, it's reality. So today we take lessons from World War II. What pantry staples they kept, and 10 simple wartime recipes we can make right now. Because when prices rise and everything else gets shaky, if we don't have bread, water, food, none of the rest matters. So grab a notebook, tighten your apron. It's time to ration like they did, survive like they did. So what were the key things in everybody's pantry during World War II? What were the pantry staples? Well, from humble 1940s home front kitchens, these essentials that I'm going to talk about were common and cheap, keeping families fed through hardship. So, first is first, flour. How important is flour? We use flour for a lot of things, to make gravy, for bread. And if you're not a cooker, or you're not a baker and you're like, oh, I don't really bake a lot, that's okay. You still are going to need flour. Because what if one of those days you just wake up, one of these days coming shortly, and you just wake up and you say, I have no bread. The supermarkets, the bread is too expensive, because right now at Aldi's, bag of wheat bread is about $1.80 average. Okay. Hey, Miss Joanne again. I'm here in here. Yes, indeed. Flour. Flour is very important. And so flour is making bread, whether or not it's wheat flour, regular flour, whatever the case may be. It's very important. It's an important staple. It's always been an important staple, and it's going to stay an important staple, because there's going to be a time where you're not going to be able to afford bread, period. And you're going to have to really roll that dough and make your own bread if that's what you desire. Now, for those of you who are not bakers and you say, I want to make a quick bread, but I don't have time for the kneading, I don't have time for this and that and the third, I have something for you here. While we're on number one and we're talking about flour first. So get your little notepads out, because you'll be here at least 10 minutes. So flour. Flour seems like this basic thing where it's like, what are you going to tell me about flour that I don't know? I'm not going to tell you anything about flour that you don't know. But I may have some pointers or some tips on how you can use that flour in times of need when you don't have money for bread. You're about to make, let's say, a nice, beef stew. You want a little bread next to it. What do? Well, you grab that flour, okay, add some water to it. I would say lukewarm water. It's my opinion. It's the best way to do it for me, because when you make this fried bread that I'm talking about, I make it all the time, it's better with lukewarm water. So you want to have a little bit of flour, a little bit of lukewarm water. Trust me, you won't make any mistakes. Before you put the water in, make sure that you mix a little bit of baking powder into that flour. Now, if it's an all-purpose flour, you won't need the baking powder, no worry. So just take your flour, your all-purpose flour, whatever you got on hand. Again, if it's not all-purpose, go ahead and add a little bit of baking powder to that flour. If not, then just use the all-purpose, a little bit of warm water, add a little bit of salt. You should have salt on hand. I don't care how poor we are. If you don't have anything else, you need to have salt on hand, because salt can cure your meats. It can protect your meat if your refrigeration goes out due to electric grid outage or anything of that sort. I have electric boxes. One of the electric boxes that I have actually is a PGYOB electric box, and we charge it inside of our vehicle and we use that. We don't have any electric bills. We don't have any water bills. We barely have any bills at all, and our bills add up to about $300 a month at max. And we pay our bills for the entire year, from the beginning of the year for the entire year, so then we don't have to worry about it throughout the year. And we also own land too as well. If you all are thinking about rent or mortgage or anything of that sort, we haven't built our home yet, but we have a RV trailer. We have a mobile home, and we have that parked on our land. That's where we live. Anyways, we do everything off-grid. That's the point. You have to save money where you can. We've been doing off-grid life for more than 4 years now. So continue with flour. Take that flour, let's say you have all-purpose flour. Let's make it a little bit easier. You have all-purpose flour, add a little bit of warm water to it, a little bit of salt, mix that sucker up into dough form, take little pieces of it, maybe about, I would say, quarter-size pieces. Shape it in any way you want to shape it. Have your hot oil ready. If you don't have oil, use lard. If not, use butter. It works better if you have oil. But if you only have, let's say, butter, you're going to want to flatten it out to the best of your ability. And then you're going to want to flip it on both sides back and forth for about maybe 2 to 3 to 4 minutes. Versus if you have hot oil, you could throw that sucker in there. Okay. And essentially you're making flatbread, AKA fried dumplings. Okay. And of course, that's baby in the background, but baby is joining me because I'm a mom like many of you out there. All right. So number 2, rice. Rice is a very important staple that was always, for the most part, readily available in World War II homes. Rice. And rice should be readily available in your home too as well. Very, very important. You could put rice with beans. You can put rice with grilled onions. You can put rice on the side of mushrooms. You can eat rice by itself with a little bit of tab of butter on it, with a little bit of salt. It's not about fanciness. It's about survival. This is not about fancy 5-course meals. This is about what can you eat and what can you have on hand no matter what is going on in the world. You can have it on hand. It needs no refrigeration. Rice. Indeed. Yes, Miss Joanne. And I actually have a 20-year-old, I have an 18-year-old, and I have an 11-year-old, all 3 girls. And then I have a little baby boy. I am 38 myself. I thought I was all dried up. And then I had baby boy here, and he is going on a year old in August. So it's a blessing indeed. I'm so glad you're here, Miss Joanne. Indeed. Happy to have you. Indeed. So rice, very important. You can make rice and milk. You can make all type of things. I have some recipes for you all, so please stay in for the recipes. Like I said, you'll be here for about at least 10 minutes. So make sure you have your little notepad and stuff like that. Number 3, dried beans and lentils. You got to make sure you have dried beans on hand. Canned beans are okay. It's much easier to make, much easier to warm up indeed. But canned beans are good. A lot of the pantries are giving the turtle beans, and it's the same thing. Turtle beans, black beans, all the same thing. You're going to eat whatever you have on board. It doesn't matter if you're poor, you're middle class. It doesn't matter if you get a paycheck or you don't. It doesn't matter if you're on a monthly fixed income. You can eat beans and rice and have flour for your bread, and you're good to go. You might not have a fancy 5-star meal every single night, you and your family, but you will have something in your stomach. That is the point. Number 4. I'm going to speed it up a little bit here because I don't want to drag you out too long, and then you guys are going to get bored of my voice. Number 4, oats. Oatmeal is a very good thing to have on hand. If you love oats, then oatmeal is the perfect thing to have on hand. There's a lot of people who don't enjoy oatmeal. My husband is one of them. He does not eat oatmeal, so we substitute other things. He's not an oatmeal, peanut butter, or pickle person. So oatmeal is my thing. I love oatmeal. At one point, I loved peanut butter, but I don't care for peanut butter as much anymore. But at the end of the day, I'm going to eat peanut butter if that's what allows me to survive. Okay. Now, number 5, salt and baking powder. Make sure that you have salt and baking powder on hand. That's for your bread, your baking powder, whatever baking needs you may have. Salt could be used for curing your meat, pork, all type of things. I have fish right now, salt fish. I have that fish sitting right now on salt. So anytime that I need that fish in an emergency or whatever the case may be, I can put it in water and soak it overnight, soak it for a couple of days, soak that salt out of it, and then use it. Okay. Sweeteners, sugar and molasses, very important things to have on hand just because we have our sweet tooth, right? Not that we can't live without sugar, but we do need some form of sugar. Our carbohydrates that turn into sugar eventually, but we want some type of sugar. So try to have your sugar on hand. Try to stock up on sugar if you know that you're a sweet person like ourselves. We don't like to eat a lot of cakes and muffins and all of those things, but we definitely like sugar for our coffee. Molasses actually is very good in coffee too as well. I've had to use molasses in the past for my coffee because I ran out of sugar and I was going to have my coffee. I just didn't want to drink it black. So I had some molasses and that gave it a nice little nutty taste to it. And it was actually really, really tasty. It wasn't quite bad. And thank you for your beautiful comments, Miss Joanne. Number 7, Canned vegetables is another thing that was a popular staple in all World War II households. For the most part, they had some type of vegetables, canned vegetables, or canned vegetables from the garden. Remember, a lot of victory gardens were born in that time. So a lot of canned and you know, canned vegetables, canned everything. A lot of people canned things back in the days. I wish I was a good canner. I know how to can some things, but I'm still not confident in it. So I would urge you all to practice your canning, look up some more information. Maybe one day if I can have an episode talking about canning, then I will do so. But because I haven't mastered it myself, I won't come on here and talk about something that I don't have much experience in quite yet. I'm very honest and very transparent. All right. So powdered milk was another thing that was always on hand. I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. I got a lot of my things off of Amazon when Amazon wasn't the enemy. But I got a lot of things on Amazon a couple years ago when I was packing my go bag. So I have a lot of episodes on a go bag. It's very important to have an emergency bag by your door. You never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. You just never know. Okay. So make sure you have your go bag. And I got powdered milk. And then I end up using it when I needed it last year. And I did use all of it, but it was expensive. I wish I didn't use it. I wish I would have saved it. But I got powdered milk and I got powdered eggs. I still have the powdered eggs in my go bag. Very important thing to have on hand. It's protein. You can mix it up with some water. Have a little fire outside with a little tent. If you have to run away from your home, you'll have something to eat. Peanut butter in your go bag is important. There are your grams of protein. Usually it's about 7 grams of protein per tablespoon, around there when it comes to, or teaspoon per peanut butter scoop. So that's good protein. Your family might not care for peanut butter. They might not want that at that moment, but for survival, trust me, they will eat it. Number 9, cornmeal is another thing that was always a staple pantry back during World War II. Have some cornmeal on hand. You can make some cornmeal pudding. You can make some cornbread. You can make all type of things with cornmeal. You can rub your chicken or whatever you have in cornmeal and fry that sucker up if you don't have any flour. Okay, you could do a lot of things with cornmeal. Cornmeal is a very good thing to have on hand. I keep cornmeal white and yellow on hand all the time. Now, number 10. Another main thing that you want to have at all times is shortening or cooking oil. If you don't have either or, lard is the same thing. Whatever you can get your hand on, you need to keep it. And also, I shall recommend to my listeners that you keep that oil. Recycle that oil. Don't throw it away. I'm telling you this because I can't be the only human that before I would just throw away my oil. I used to throw away my oil before I put different practices into place. I made my life into a different framework some years back, and I started to ration on my own before war was even being thought of. Okay. Matter of fact, that's a lie. Let me go back on that. When the Russian-Ukrainian war hit, that's when my World War II enthusiasm really ramped up. And I thought in my head, I said, what if one day we were attacked and this was, when that first started, and then it really ramped up. But for the most part, I have been an old soul all my life, and I'm trapped in another time period. I don't know what I'm doing in 2025, but I'm in another time period completely. But I'm here with you also. That makes it wonderful. So, but anywho's, we have folks like Miss Joanne here and other wonderful folks that come in and see me. So this is great. Anywho's, shortening oil, please save it. You're going to need it. Trust me. I save my oil now. And a lot of times I go right into that oil can. So what I do is, yeah, absolutely. And so what I do is with the formula cans for the baby, I save those cans and I use them for storage. I put sugar in them, flour, rice, whatever you can put in a canister. I use those baby formula cans. So if you know anybody with a baby, tell them, don't throw away your cans. Give them to me. Okay. People are not thinking this. They'll toss those suckers away. Tell your friends and family if they have kids, the youngsters, the younger people in their 20s, if they have children, tell them, give me that can. They're not thinking about it. Trust me. They're throwing it away probably. Say, give me that can. I can use it. Do you know how much these storage containers are costing right now at these stores? Dollar General is supposed to be a dollar store, and these containers are costing $2, some of them $3. Save every can you can have, because the more cans that you have in order to preserve your things is the longer things you're going to have. What is it? Waste not, want not, right? All right. So I have a reminder for you all. These items stay good for months. Buy them when you can and store them properly. Rotate as you use. That is the reminder. That is the reminder. All of those items that I just talked about, all 10, those items stay good for months and sometimes years on hand. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about wartime recipes. I have 10 more for you. So grab your notepad and pen, and I hope that you're going to love these because there's more to come where these came from. Okay, I have a 1940s recipe book on the home front, and I have a lot of recipes to share with you guys. So I'm very excited to do so over time because it's going to save you all a lot of money, just like it saves me money, and it's going to help you to create different ideas. You don't have to listen to everything that I tell you here. Well, you can listen to everything I tell you here, but then I want you to take those and put them into place with your own life, make your own decisions, how you do things. I'm not here to influence. I'm here to provide information. There is a difference. So here are 10 more easy filling meals using ration pantry items. Number 1, lentil patties. Okay. If you don't have lentils, believe it or not, a lot of folks don't keep lentils on hand, but you have beans. But if you have lentils, it's wonderful. You need some lentils. Okay. Indeed. You need some flour. You need onion. You need some seasoning. And you mix those suckers together and you pan fry those patties. That stretch is meatless. That is a meatless item, and it stretches it well. Okay, so for my vegetarians out there, for my pescatarians, and all of you all, okay, lentil patties is a great deal, and it tastes actually really, really yummy, believe it or not. Moving on to number 2, recipe number 2, tomato and rice. Very easy, simple. Again, these recipes are for survival. This is not 5-star. You're not going to the Cheesecake Factory. You can make Cheesecake Factory in your house. But let's be realistic. When you have kids running around or you have things going on, you have no time to make a 5-star meal, but you need to eat. You are hungry. So tomato and rice casserole. Or you need to make dinner for your family tonight. You need to make something quick. You need rice. You need a can of tomatoes. If you have some onion, it'll taste extra good with that. Some breadcrumbs. Some salt, pepper, any type of seasonings you have on hand, and go ahead and bake that until bubbly. Now, let me give you some tips when it comes to that tomato and rice casserole. If you're not a big rice person, you're like, I don't have time to make rice, get instant rice. If you don't have instant rice, use the rice that you have at home. Cook your rice for about 17 minutes. Cook your rice. If you guys didn't know that, let me tell you real quick. You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to cook rice. Let me give you a simple, easy way to cook rice. And it comes out perfect every single time. Take any cup that you have in your house. Fill up that cup with the amount of rice that you want. If you fill it up full way, then you have that 1 cup of rice. Consider that 1 cup of rice, even if that doesn't measure 1 cup in your measuring cup. Just consider that whatever it is, small or big, that's your cup of rice. Boil your water. You want to boil 2 cups of that in water. So you have 1 cup full of rice, but you want to boil 2 cups of water. Boil the water. Add a little bit of salt to it. Once that water comes to a boil, pour your rice inside. Once your rice is inside, bring the rice to a boil again. Bring it again to a boil. Once it's to a boil, cover your rice, lower the stove down to very, very low, very, very low. And you want to put on your timer, cook it for 17 minutes, and you have perfect rice. That's it. Done. Once your rice is done, go ahead and put that in a casserole dish if you're able to. Add some onion. You can either cook down the onion, add the onion to the rice. I personally would just chop it up and put it inside the casserole dish, the rice, the canned tomato, and the onion. And put some breadcrumbs on top and bake it until bubbly. There you go. Boom. There you go. You got your meal. Okay? Now, I have a number 3 for you. Hope you guys got your pen and paper, because remember, when the phones go down, you need that pen and paper. You might not be able to hear me after we get a cyber attack in some months from now. Who knows what's coming? So write it down. Write down those phone numbers. Write down those important people's phone numbers. Stop depending solely on your phone. Get that pen and paper. It's very important, especially during this war where we can possibly, not even possibly, we are open and we are subject to a cyber attack that can happen at any time. So be vigilant, be aware. Number 3, I have molasses cornbread for you, baby. Molasses cornbread indeed. You need cornmeal. You need molasses. Remember, all my ingredients are simple. Why? Because We need simplicity in a chaotic world. Simplicity is how our ancestors survived the war. Simplicity. Keep it moving. Simplicity. Simple. Simpleness is key. So you need some cornmeal, some molasses, some baking powder, some water. And guess what? You have a warm, sweet, and filling cornbread. You need that cornmeal, molasses, baking powder. Mix that baking powder with the cornmeal, the dry ingredients first and wet. Add that molasses, add the water. Go ahead and mix that up. Bake it, and you got yourself molasses cornbread. Bake it for about 15 minutes on a hot oven, about 375 to 425, whatever you got going on. Just make sure that you watch. Make sure that you watch that cornbread. Okay? You don't want to burn cornbread. I've burnt cornbread in a day. Number 4, bean pea soup. Yummy. I love bean pea soup. You need some split peas. You need dried beans. You need some broth and some carrots. And guess what? You got one hearty, one pot comfort. Okay? Now, if I would suggest that you use canned beans for this. Any type of canned beans, here's the alternative here. Any type of canned beans that you have with some broth and whatever vegetables you have on hand. If you have some canned carrots, use that. If you have regular carrots, fresh carrots, use that. Whatever you have on hand, put it in that pot and make yourself some bean soup. Put some salt and pepper and you're good to go. Now, me personally, if I wanted to add a little touch to this, I will grill a little bit of onions. Then I will go ahead and add the can of beans with the broth, with some carrots, all into a pot and let it stew. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Number 5, I got oatmeal dumplings for you. I know it sounds weird. Don't judge it yet. Try it for yourself and see what you think. You need some oat flour. And if you don't have oat flour, don't worry about it. It might not be a recipe for you. But oat flour, some water, some salt, dropped into soup for added thickness. Now listen, let's say you have that bean soup. You don't have any meat, but you want a little bit of thickness. Oatmeal dumplings will be great. Or if not, just some regular dumplings. Use the flour that you have on hand, a little bit of water, a little bit of salt. Roll it into a dough. Drop it into your soup as if you were making chicken and dumplings per se. Number 6, milk toast pudding. Very easy to do. It's very simple. It's not rocket science. Okay? Not rocket science. A piece of stale bread, some powdered milk, and sugar. Warm, and there you go. You got a nostalgic meal right there, right in the morning. Now, let me tell you the alternative to that. Take a little piece of bread. Take some warm milk or some warm coffee and make it coffee milk toast or milk pudding. You can do that with a little bit of sugar. Or you could just take the regular milk, warm the milk up, and pour it over the bread with a little bit of sugar. And there you go. You have some milk toast pudding for the morning. This is not 5-star, ladies and gentlemen. This is survival. Number 7, cabbage and bean skillet. Very good, and I have an alternative for it. In your skillet, you want to put your cabbage, beans, onion, a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. It's quick, it's cheap, it's nutritious. Now, here's the alternative to that cabbage, beans, and onion. Put some chicken in it if you have chicken. You can use the chicken, the beans, the onion, and you can even add a little bit of potato to it. If it was me, when it comes to this cabbage and bean skillet, I would take a little bit of oil, pour it into my pan. I would take a little bit of onion, chop it up, put it inside the oil, let it cook in the oil a little bit. Not too much oil, not too little. And I'll add a little bit, maybe a half of cut up a potato. And if you want to preserve the other half of the potato, just put it in some cold water and use it for dinner later or for something else later. Maybe some quick fries with some ketchup, whatever you got going on. And then after I fry up the onion a little bit and fry up the potato, then I would add the beans to that. And I would add a little bit of broth, a little tiny bit of broth, a little bit of flour. And then that gives it a little bit of gravy. And I'll eat it up just like that with some bread if you have. And there you go. You have a wonderful, quick, cheap, and nutritious meal at the same time. And guess what? You didn't break your pocket. Number 8, vegetable hash. Sometimes you don't have meat on hand. So vegetable hash is a good thing to go for. And I hear thunder, and I guess the rain is coming, and I'm happy for that because we sure do need the rain, right? Don't we, my listeners? We need the rain everywhere across this country, indeed. Cool it down a little bit. So vegetable hash. You can take the potatoes that you have on hand, cut up your potatoes, You need canned veggies, onions, and you fry and season, and that's it. Now, let me tell you how to actually prepare something like that. Very easy. Take your potatoes, cut them up, dice them up. Put a little bit of oil in the pan, heat up that oil. Put your onions in there and put your potatoes. Go ahead and cook that up all together for 6 to 7 minutes so that onion taste can really seep into those fried potatoes. Then at last, add your veggies. So if you have corn, add corn. If you have sweet peas, whatever you have on hand, use what you have. This is not about 5-star. Again, it's about survival. I will never get tired of saying it because when people hear these meals, they think, woof, that's plain. Woof, I wouldn't eat that. Yes, you would. In a moment of survival, you will eat anything. You'll probably eat your foot off. Haha, just a joke. But you'll probably eat your foot off. You'll eat anything, is what I am saying. Number 9. I know you all have heard of this. Somewhere down the line, somebody has heard of this. And if you haven't, I guess you're just not studying history. But mock apple pie is yummy. I've made it and it's really good and it does taste like apple pie. So what you need is a puff pastry or pie crust. I would just suggest making your own pie crust. Just it's a little bit more time consuming, but it tastes better. But if you don't have any time and you can find a puff pastry or you can find any type of pastry that you would make biscuits from, anything like that, you can improvise with that. Trust me, you can improvise with anything. You want to slice your potatoes. Okay. You want sugar. Because now, see, here's the deal with the sliced potatoes. You can use potatoes and mash it in and make a potato crust, like a pastry crust. But some people, that's only if you don't have like flour or anything, you can make like a potato crust. It's a little bit more details to that. I'll explain on another video, but that's what it means when you can have some sliced potatoes and you can go ahead and put those to boil and then mash them down, let it cool, and then make yourself a potato crust. Add a little bit more time to it. I'll add that in another day. If not, I'll talk about that too much. I tried it one time and it wasn't half bad. Anyways, you need some sugar, cinnamon, and you need crackers. This works best with crackers. It works best with Ritz crackers, small little crackers. If you don't have Ritz, use the saltine crackers. It'll work. Now, let me add the alternatives to this, which is very important, I think. You need a little bit of lemon juice, the sugar, cinnamon, the pie crust, okay, and the Ritz crackers. And you're good to go. There you go. You got a pie illusion without fruit. Now, last but not least, rice porridge, okay? Congee style rice porridge. You need rice, water, salt, and sugar. It's just like making rice and milk. You're going to cook low and slow for a really soothing porridge, very nice, yummy, warming, okay? Rice, water, and salt. Rice, water, and salt. And sugar, of course, for taste. And if you have it, nutmeg, cinnamon. Some people don't have these things. If you have vanilla extract, you can use vanilla extract. Again, some people don't have these things. If you find yourself making rice and milk and you find that it's complicated, it's not complicated. Let me tell you the easiest way to do it. Use my rice instructions, and then you're going to add the milk to it. And then you're going to re-cook it down, but real slow. You're going to cover that rice already cooked in milk entirely. And you're going to cook that really slow on low so it can cream up on you. And if you have a little bit of cornstarch, you can add that to it. Give it a little bit more thickness there. And make sure you got your sugar and a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla, whatever you have on hand. Now, I want to share really quickly some tips for stretching. Again, cook in bulk, like I said in the last episode. Cook in bulk and freeze in small portions. Make sure that you use leftover cooking for liquid. Use, leftover cooking liquid for soups. So if you're cooking chicken or if you're cooking beef, you want to use that liquid because that's your broth. Some people don't know that, so I'm just giving information. Some people know these things. Some people don't. Not all of these things are common sense. So don't think people are stupid or incompetent because they don't know these things. Not everybody knows these things. Not everybody studies history, etc., etc. You can serve certain foods with pickles or onions to brighten the flavor. to even just brighten the plate. You could throw a piece of celery on there. I would say eat it anyway. It's hard times. Shouldn't just be for decor. But if you want to brighten the plate a little bit in hard times, you could throw a little something to it. Okay. Now, here is what I want you to do today, folks. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. Eat beans, eat rice. Indeed, Miss Joanne. Now, folks, I have a call to action here. What I want you to do today is I want you to take this list and check your pantry. These are basic things that I'm asking, nothing outrageous. I'm just saying for the good and the benefit of your family, check your pantry, know what you have to eat, even if it's just for yourself, even if you're just taking care of yourself, please check your pantry. Stock up on the basics, even if you don't have them. Stock up on the basics. Stock up on the basics. Okay? Pick 2 recipes. That's the third thing I want you guys to try to work on. Pick 2 recipes and make them this week. See how you think, you know. Check them out. See how they taste. See what your taste buds think about them. You might just be surprised. Number 4, I want you to share your results in the comments. Okay? What worked? What your family loved and what they didn't like, what you didn't like. Because when times get tough, we don't just survive. We show what front porch resilience looks like. Now, listeners, my ladies and gentlemen, Miss Joanne Robinson in the room, shout outs. That is your midday home front prep. Now, if this resonated with you, please share it with a friend, pantry or not. Please subscribe for weekly porch cooking and prepping wisdom. I am Pavio G. From my porch to your pantry. Cook smart, ration well, and live strong. Until next time, stay prepared, stay hopeful, and stay fed. Thank you all very, very much for listening, and I'm glad that that was helpful. You all have a beautiful and blessed day. See you all on the next episode. It's coming up shortly, most likely.